All right, and what the heck is going on, prospectors? Wildgate's going to be coming out in about maybe a week from now, probably by the time I put this video up. But the more important thing to note about that is that they have a second developer roadmap that they actually wanted to share. And to be honest, I don't think a lot of people know about the roadmap, so I'm here to help you out. First things first, for the launch of the roadmap, we have a ton of balance updates, bug fixes, and quality of life changes based on player feedback. After that, we also have more types of progression, such as scrap crates, an infamy system, streak goals and stats, and player card titles and badges. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually really curious about that because I've actually had a streak of like 5 games at one point, and that's a pretty good thing to show off if you want to show it off. We also have more cosmetic unlocks, such as new rare outfits, Twitch drops, and login rewards. Along with that, we're going to be having some matchmaking improvements, an upgraded spectator view, a UKR and Rush localization. I think that's Russia, I'm not sure. In-game cosmetic shop, and a deluxe edition of the game. I'm actually curious what the deluxe edition of the game is going to be because with the game being at a base price of $30, maybe paying $50 would get you something a little extra, but I'm just curious to what that would be. I hope it's just not cosmetic stuff. Continuing on, later this year, they're going to be doing bi-weekly reach anomalies, meaning a new POI, a new artifact type, interesting, new hardpoint type, and new hazards to go through. In Season 1, we're going to be getting a new prospector, a new weapon and equipment, new adventure pass, new reach anomalies, and new cosmetics. And oh my god, custom lobbies. Custom lobbies are going to help the player base a lot, in my opinion, because it can actually help some new players actually get acclaimed or acquainted to how the game actually works. Because right now, there's a big fear that the game's not going to work too well for newcomers who get blasted on their first game. But I digress. In development, later on, continuing this year, we have seasons 2 and 3. New ships and prospects will be included, as well as new weapons and equipment, new adventure passes, new reach anomalies, and new cosmetics. There will also be new areas of the reach and more. So I'm hoping that means that they're going to maybe expand the map of the reach a little bit more, as well as probably add some different locations for us to go to. However, new reach anomalies. I would hope that we can get some like live action like animals or like space whale type thing going on. And of course, new types of cosmetics, more robust competitive gameplay, and more ways to bring in friends. Continuing on with the notes that the developers have left for us, we have coming at launch. While it is important to us that our pre-launch playtests represented as much of the game as possible, there's a variety of new content and improvements coming at launch. Balance updates. Based on player feedback from the open beta, we've made adjustments to prospector ships, weapons, equipment, loot, and more. You'll need to wait for the full portion of the game to release for all the juicy details, obviously, but some highlights include nerfs to the aim E, the Doctor, the Rock, which is crazy powerful. I didn't know it one-shotted people. The Mine Layer and Laser Ram, tuning down respawn rates, adding a close all doors button to the security device hardpoint, increased durability of helm windows, as well as tweaks to boarding and sailing. That sounds pretty good to me because, like I said, if you're a new player coming in, you are going to get boarded and you're not going to know how it actually happened for you. For the quality of life changes, in addition to balance updates, we're also making several smaller changes that are aimed to reduce points of friction across your day-to-day gameplay experience. A few examples of these may include making improvements to matchmaking and upgrading spectator view, as well as adding Ukrainian and Russian language localization. Okay, that is what that was. I was sure about that. We also have scrap crates. While adventuring in the reach, players may now find scrap crates in loot rooms. Just like everything else in this weird corner of space, these crates are random, which means you may not find any crates in a match. You may find one or you may find multiple. When located, two things will happen for all members of the crew. You will each earn 500 XP, and you will unlock a cosmetic that can be used for your exit for you exit your current mats. That's what they said. That wasn't me. There are currently 150 cosmetics that you can unlock from scrap crates, and the order in which you unlock them is the same for every player. Even after exhausting the current pool of available crate cosmetics, you'll continue to earn 500 XP per located crate. In what capacity and how often we add more cosmetics to the scrap crate is still being determined. Alright, I was actually thinking that in my head. That sounds pretty impressive though, to be able to get a little bit of extra XP, but also to have some cosmetics come into gameplay. Because my understanding was that maybe the cosmetics were going to be only for the player pass or the adventure pass that comes with each prospector. But again, having cosmetics inside the game is not necessarily something that I feel like is going to be a detrimental point. More player card customization. I'll be honest with you, I didn't customize my player card at all because I've been on literally every beta and your progression doesn't progress over to each beta, so I felt no need to do that. But so far, we've added more ways to customize your player cards. The first is titles. Players can now unlock titles by reaching certain milestones like destroying 500 ships and hitting different in-game streaks like blasting 20 prospectors without dying. Then there's the infamy system. Through this system, players can earn badges and tiles that correspond with different ranks that are unlocked based on present point thresholds. TLDR, you gain points by winning games and lose points by losing games. Your point total resets every month along with your badges, but any titles you earn will stay with you until the heat death of the universe. So I'm guessing is the infamy system essentially just ranks? Is what it sounds like to me. Continuing on, we have more cosmetic unlocks. To celebrate our launch, we're adding a few more fun cosmetics to the game. This includes more pixel sprays that will be earnable as Twitch drops, login rewards, and as a bonus for creating and linking a Dreamhaven account, we've also added a brand new set of rare outfits for each of our prospectors, inspired loosely by their backgrounds, available as the final unlock in their respective reward tracks. Moving on, sorry I'm talking so much. I love this game. In-game cosmetics shop. At launch, an in-game cosmetics shop will be available for players who are interested in further enhancing their prospector or ship drip. Our current plan is to rotate a few cosmetic items and or item bundles in and out of the shop on a bi-weekly basis. All items within the shop can be unlocked with a new currency called credits, which will be available for purchase with real money. In-game shop item value will typically range from $5 to $15 USD, depending on the quality of the item and whether or not it's part of a bundle. And our goal is to make it as easy as possible for players to purchase credits in increments that align with our ship offerings. I.e., we don't want to force players to have to purchase way more credits than what is needed to unlock an item. Okay, yes, too many hot dogs, not enough buns is the concept that I usually refer to this as. There's often a time where for some reason you have either too many hot dogs, not enough buns, or too many buns and not enough hot dogs. I don't know why that is literally the thing, but basically having an unnecessary amount of an item, and in order to equate that item to be, basically worth your value or worth your time, you have to buy more of that item. But now when you buy more of that item, if you buy something again, you have this weird small amount of like 2 hot dog buns. But hot dogs come in like 8 a pack, It's very odd. It's very odd. Anyway, continuing on. Lastly, we have the deluxe edition. In addition to our standard edition, we'll also be offering players the option to purchase a deluxe edition of Wildgate. This will come with themed outfits and styles, aka skins, for each prospector and ship, respectively, as well as new styles for your ship's helm, processor, probe station, reactor, and turrets. Whoa, I didn't think they would do anything for the probe station. That's insane. It continues on to say, we'll be sharing more information about our progression types, launch celebration, cosmetic rewards, in-game shop, and deluxe edition over the coming weeks, so just stay tuned. Continuing on still, I don't know if they just recently updated this, but it does continue. Coming later this year, launch is really just the beginning though. Here's some of what you can expect to see in the coming weeks and months following the release of Wildgate. Now, they've said reach anomalies. Beginning a few weeks after launch, our bi weekly update will officially kick off. Each of these updates will introduce a brand new anomaly to the reach. These anomalies can range from new environmental hazards to new hardpoint upgrades to new POIs. Once added, they will remain part of the game's proceduralism pool. Season 1! Before the end of 2025, we will release our first seasonal content drop for Wildgate. Season 1 will bring its own themed content, including a new prospector, new weapon, and new piece of equipment, all of which can be unlocked as part of the base adventure rewards track. There will also be a variety of new cosmetics that you can unlock as part of base rewards track and via the upgraded adventure pass. To complement the theme and storyline, this first season will introduce changes to the reads, including a new puzzle mechanic, as well as more anomalies for you to discover as part of our bi weekly updates. Okay, a new puzzle mechanic. Maybe you have to do a puzzle in order to, I don't know, maybe instead open a door. Instead of having to just go around and shoot enemies and shoot this and shoot this, it would be a little bit of a refresher if you could just do a puzzle. There's also a note here about custom lobbies. As part of our first seasonal content drop, we'll be adding in the first iteration of custom lobbies. This is one of our most requested features, so we're excited to be rolling it into season 1. We're also excited to continue adding more functionality to the feature over time. It is with my hope that they, other than having custom lobbies, if I can just spectate matches of Wildgate for other players, I think that would be so beneficial to the player base. I could provide so much helpful information for people to understand how to actually approach situations and have people understand what's going on when you're being attacked or when you're attacking someone else, etc., etc. Moving on, we have in development or exploration. Beyond what we have actively planned for this year, there's also a variety of different content systems and features we're working on behind the scenes. In seasons 2 and 3, currently in development, remember how earlier we noted that we're looking to tell narrative arcs over the course of a year and 3 individual seasons? That means we're ready to work on the content for season 2 and 3. And that means new ships, new prospectors, and even new areas of the reach to explore are on the horizon. Again, we go back into new types of cosmetics in exploration. We'll continue to add more prospector outfits, ship styles, and weapon appearances to the game, but we're also prototyping new types of cosmetic content for Wildgate. Let us know what types of cosmetic you'd be interested in. Alright. They're going really heavy into the cosmetic aspect of this game. And to be fair, I was wondering if they were going to do cosmetics in some way because the gameplay loop itself can grab you for a bit, but if you're not necessarily progressing or getting anything new, I feel like that's just going to be very tiring for players. Anyway, more ways to play with friends. Wildgate is best played with friends, but sometimes your crew may want to try out the game before diving in head first. We're looking into different ways to provide this as an option. So maybe they're saying maybe a range system in some way. I don't know. That a bit more explanation in detail would be appreciated for that, because it sounds to me like they're gonna have it so that if this is your first 10 or so matches, you will not be penalized as hard, or you will not have to go up against players that are absolute monsters in this game that have been playing since the first beta, is what it sounds like to me. And we also have competitive play. Many players who've tried out Wildgate have expressed interest in some sort of ranked mode. Yes, I actually have in some way. While we're still evaluating what version of this mode might be best, we hear you. We've added the infamy system as a very, very light first step, and we're jamming on what a more robust implementation of competitive play could look like for our game in the future. We don't just want to add in ranked, though. We want to design a system that makes sense for Wildgate, and that will take us a bit of time to do as well. I have to agree, because how do you, based on the way that this game plays, how do you determine if someone should be a higher rank? Because there are times when I get the artifact and I win. Or there are times when I kill at least 3 ships and on the last fight we lose. But we did really, really good throughout the entirety of it. To determine someone's rank in this game would actually be a little weird because your rank is only determined by, well, the level that you have. If I'm correct, in the last beta, if you got to level 22 or 24, you finally unlock that adventure pass to get the red and black skin. But essentially, the number that is over the prospector's head before you start a match and you're queuing in, that could be an indicator of a rank system, but again, that's just an indicator of how much you've been playing and how much XP you've earned. To have a rank system in this game would be quite the thing to think about. You actually think about it, because some people are just really, really good at understanding what to do in this game. Some people open the door and they make their way in. Some people just literally go through the windshield of the ship and they board people and they murder everybody. It's very complicated to understand what makes a ranking system. However, in my opinion, they did have something good going on. I think the titles that you earn should be considered the ranking system in terms of how many prospectors can you kill in a match? How many times have you touched an artifact? Or how many times have you, I guess you could say, the speed of which people lose items as well, or how fast people actually go through things. But then again, I digress. It could be a kill death ratio as well in this game, but who knows? That seems like something that they're going to have to figure out for a long while. And honestly, I don't see that happening until maybe the end of season 1. So yeah. An important note the developers have added: anything we've included in this section is very much a work in progress and does not currently have a target release window. Like I just said, some of this work may be put on hold and or change significantly from what we've outlined here. Sorry, they have it in italics and it's hard to read. These are priorities for your team, though, which is why we're still communicating them with you. We appreciate your understanding. And lastly, at the very bottom of this page, it reads, Space Crime Summer officially begins July 22nd. In the meantime, we hope you enjoyed this little update. We're certain some of the things we've shared with you today will change, but won't change. But what won't change is our team's commitment to giving Wildgate and this community our full hearts. We're excited to explore with you, adapt with you, and find victory with you too. We look forward to sharing more information about how many of the new topics revealed here, and we promise to keep the comms line open. P.S. If you haven't already, we encourage you to join our official Discord server so that you can stay up to date with the latest game news and connect directly with our team. We'll see you in Reach. Yeah, I have to say, I don't think ranked is gonna work soon as the game launches. It's definitely gonna be the end of season 1, closer to season 2, more than likely, because that's a lot to think of. In general, this game is going to be amazing. I know a lot of people are worried about the amount of cosmetics that are going to be added to the game, or the fact that there's going to be a cosmetic store added to the game. Here's the thing. I knew that. I knew that whether the game was free to play or whether it cost $30 or $50, I 100% knew that. Though I will admit, I don't think I would pay $50 for the game at a base level, because admittingly, like I said, the gameplay loop can kind of get a little overdone or a little played out, in my opinion. Once you've grinded through the game a lot, it really can. But overall, I think that this game has a very healthy future, as long as we continue to support the devs and support every content creator out there. Not telling you to like and share my video and all that, but like, if we just continue to support the community of the game itself, I think this game will be really, really good. Potentially, I want to see this game at the Game Awards later on this year. But yeah, that's all the Wildgate news that I have for you guys for right now. I hope to see you guys in the Reach. And yeah, GG's.